Hello guys, it's Annie here. Today I wanted to talk to you about sacred sexuality. This is our first class. I'm not really sure how many there'll be because I just know that the Magdalenas wanted me to share those remembrances with you. I don't like to call them knowledge because they don't really come from the head, they come from our heart, from our soul. And I'm sure that this is going to awake many experiences on you, and you will remember a lot of things for yourself. So when this happens, be sure to share them with us because that's gonna be amazing. But anyways, so today we're gonna speak about sacred sexuality. It's just an introduction. This is going to be a shorter class than the following ones, because basically Mary Magdalene came forward very strongly to speak about this, and she wanted to give you a little homework. Basically, that's the first thing that she wanted me to do, so she can take you on this journey. She is very big on answering us with questions, so we can ask ourselves and we can find the power within ourselves to answer them, instead of she's just giving us the answer that we are seeking, right? It's much more empowering for her to show you the way without just giving it all to you at the same time. You know, you are here on earth to learn and to experience and to expand. It is not very loving of her to just drop things on you. That's her perspective on things, and I really like it. And that's what she has for us today. I pre-channeled a lot of things, and she asked me to first, in this first class, just to read everything, and I will go reading and explaining what she meant, and I'm going to channel anything that she has to say right now, or any other of the Magdalenas. She wanted to talk about, she just popped out, and it's probably gonna happen a lot. I planned something and then she shows up and she just like, oh no, we're gonna do that instead. She just wanted to say something about the Magdalenas and who they are. They are like a collective, a feminine collective of divine mothers. They've been called many things, and like priestess of Isis and the Magdalenas and the Sophia collective and all that. Those are just divine mothers. Some of them are Mary Magdalene, Isis, Hathor, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, Lilith, and so there are so many. Those are the ones that I have very strongly right now. They are wanting to share those stuff with us. Grandmother Anna to grandmother of Jesus, and those are the ones that are coming forward for me right now to talk about all those topics. So this is the first class. We're gonna have another one about twin flames next month. It's going to be an introduction to, and it will be highly focused on self-love regarding twin flames relationships. And Isis is the one that is going to speak about it, because she has a very profound and beautiful and practical perspective about it, and it's very nice. And so today we're going to speak about sacred sexuality. I'm going to begin with a quote from Mary Magdalene in something that she answered us on our last trans channeling. I was channeling Yeshua. She just popped up and she wanted to answer about sacred sexuality. Just a second, I need a little water. There are some little birds singing. And what she wanted me to write down from that was, sacred sexuality is not within two bodies. It is within one body. You first understand your own divinity. You first balance your own divine feminine and divine masculine within yourself before you can express it with a partner. So, she is saying that those energies live in your own body. The more you seek someone else to complete you or to balance your feminine and your masculine, the further away you are from sacred sexuality. It begins within oneself. You have that within you. It is just something else that is innate to you, to your divinity. It is something that lives inside of you. It is a tool that we can use to express our divinities in those bodies that we are right now on planet Earth. So sacred sexuality is not the same as sacred sex. We're going to speak about it further in the class. And that's what she means by that. You need to feel this connection, this sacred connection within you first before you can experience it with someone else. So this is why they wanted to speak about this introduction of sacred sexuality before they spoke about twin flames, and before they gave you any tips and any guidelines, any breathing techniques and visualization and all of that, to start really practicing it. They wanted us to understand first what it is. So the next thing that I wrote, I just pre-channeled a lot of stuff. Both men and women have feminine and masculine energies within themselves. It is not a matter of gender. Every individual has both on this contrast-based planet that is Earth. So everything in Earth is based on contrast, right? We have light, we have dark, we have love, we have fear. This is like the basic of our planet. So those are aspects of divinity, of God. And both men and women have those energies within themselves. It is not like you need, if you are a woman, you need a male partner to practice sacred sexuality. It's nothing like that. It is within both of us. So they wanted me to speak a little bit. This is what I got from Mary Magdalene and Isis, explaining a little bit about the feminine energy and the masculine energy. I'm gonna read it for you. The feminine energy is the one often described as nurturing, accepting, generous, giving, compassionate, and creative energy. So those are just some terms that we use. Just like anything else within God, those energies cannot be described and cannot be labeled as one thing or another. But for the sake of our understanding, they give us some of those tips of things that we can comprehend how it is and how it expresses in our reality. Because that is what is important right now for us to understand. That is what they want us to understand in those first classes. How will this affect our bodies? How will this affect our reality, so we can understand those energies and understand our balance? So that is why they give those little descriptions. Okay, so it's related to emotions and feelings, the sacred feminine. It is represented by many symbols such as the moon, the element of water, the womb, and many more. It's defined as being the left side. The main chakras for this energy are the sacral chakra, the heart chakra, and the third eye chakra. So if you have any blockages on those chakras, chances are that is something unbalanced in your divine feminine. That is basically what Mary Magdalene wanted me to focus on right now here on this part, because this is one way that we can see those energies expressing in our bodies. So if you have for example, the sacral chakra is your power to create, and it is where as women, for example, we store all of our emotions in our womb. So if you have anything that is unbalanced there, if you are keeping any traumas, if you are keeping any emotions that you don't feel like you can express, if you have a hard time finding your own limits, because we speak a lot about oneness, right? And sometimes it is very confusing to understand, why do I need limits to understand oneness? If we are one with everything, why do I need to create any barriers to separate my energy from others? What Mary Magdalene explained me about that when I asked her, because this is something that came across for me, because it's hard sometimes to have boundaries, right? And to say no, for example. If you don't want to do something and you feel like you are going to hurt someone else, if you say no, so you just say yes because you are afraid to hurt their feelings, so it's not loving for you. I had a lot of that trouble in my life. And the first thing that she taught me was create your boundaries, understand your limits. Sometimes your limit is laying down in bed and not wanting to talk to people. So go within, ask yourself, why is it? Instead of just saying yes when someone asks you, oh, do you want to go to the movies? And you go like, oh yeah, but I didn't really want to go. So why is it? Go within and ask yourself. It is okay to say no. It is okay to have limits before you can understand that everything is you. What she told me was, you cannot understand oneness if you don't go within. If you are not comfortable being alone with you. Understanding you and finding this balance in you is what will open the door for you to understand that you are one with everything else. First, you need to work on you before you can express it somewhere else or with someone else or whatever you are doing with your life. So I think that this is a very human way to understand it, that sometimes we have limits and it is okay for us to say no. It is okay for us to understand our energy as individuals, because we are individuals right now. And it's also very, very important to understand that everything is one and that everything is love and everything is God. So no one is really separated from you, but once you can figure that out for yourself, you can express it. That's basically what she told me. Now sorry, I just jumped it off. The masculine energy. The masculine energy is one often described as the protective, grounding, vigorous, strong, receiving, and expressive energy. So those are some terms that we use. It's related to rationality and practicality, which is the complete opposite of emotions and feelings, right? So both of them are important for us. It is very important to be able to be connected to your heart, but also to have this balance of practicality and rationality sometimes, because it keeps you from giving too much. It keeps you from always saying yes. So this is the energy that will represent like that for you. It is represented by symbols such as the sun, the element of fire, the arrow, and many more. It is defined as being the right side. Not the right side and left side of the brain, okay, because this is something different. This is, I don't really know. She just said that. Just like the left side of your body is the moon and is the feminine, and the right side of your body is the sun and the masculine. The main chakras for this energy are the root, the solar plexus, and the throat chakra. This is where I see most women having trouble with. It is all of them, but mostly the throat chakra, because it is so hard to speak our truth. Because in the society that we live, it is highly patriarchal. I don't even know if I'm saying this word right. And it is hard for us to say no, to express, and to feel comfortable speaking our truth. So if you have any trouble with that, you already know that this is something that is balancing your masculine and inviting that energy in. We will do some of those practices later. We will show those visualizations and meditations and breathing techniques to balance those energies. That's Mary Magdalene. She's saying that right now. She's just saying that she wants to hear from you first before she gives you anything. But we'll get there. I'm speaking so fast, aren't I? They are so many and they make me jumpy sometimes. When it's only Mary Magdalene that is around, her energy is very calming and very soothing, and she makes me want to cry a lot. But I have Lilith very strong right now, and I'm not very used to channel her in front of other people. Well, I'm alone now, but you're watching. Okay, so let me see something else. Balancing both of them is key to having a healthy life in general. So balancing your divine feminine and your divine masculine, because you have both, it is very important to have a healthy life in general, in this body, in this planet. Let me go to the next topic. Sacred sexuality does not mean sacred sex. The act of intercourse is just one of the many physical representations of it. Sacred sexuality means allowing God within you to be free to express itself through the body. Okay, they wanted me to stop and take some time for you to integrate that. It means using the body as a vessel without any fear, guilt, or shame. So I'm going to repeat just the last part. Sacred sexuality means allowing God within you to be free to express itself through the body by using it as a vessel without any fear, guilt, or shame. It is bringing the awareness that God cannot ever be outside of you. You are always innocent and sinless. You are just a second. Isis. This is Isis, by the way. Innocent and sinless. You are free to experience everything this body has to offer, including sex, without feeling anything but holy and glorious. Sacred sexuality is another thing that is innate to you, as I was saying earlier. It is only a meaning of allowance, just like abundance, love, grace, enlightenment, and so forth. So this is already something that is within you. You just need to learn to access it and to use it as a tool for you in your reality, however you want to use it. Because you can use it for so many things, just as like a manifestation tool. You can use that to manifest anything you want in your life. This is how Yeshua manifested the resurrection, for example. This is what he told me personally, if it doesn't align with you, but by him and Mary Magdalene practicing those breathing techniques and all of that, it is something that allowed him to perform all those miracles, things we call miracles. Okay, where did I stop? Sacred sexuality is balancing the energies in your body so you can experience the expansion of your spirit through your acts. They stopped me, like, let people take some time to integrate. Sorry. Sacred sexuality is balancing the energies in your body so you can experience the expansion of your spirit through your acts. It is the closest shortcut to spirit, to source, to God, however you want to call it. This is very interesting, right? I pre-channel some stuff and sometimes I don't read them back and I'll be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense, and then I start listening to them explaining. So balancing those energies within you allows God to emerge, because it is like if you imagine, for example, a tunnel of light, going through all of your body, connecting you to Mother Earth, connecting you to your higher self. In truth, your higher self is not up and there's nothing down. You are within all of it. You are within God and God is within you. But imagining that free energy flowing, because when you balance those two energies, those main energies, the feminine and masculine, you allow the channel to be free, so the energy can go, and that is when you realize God within you, because you can see and you can feel that you are one with everything. This energy is going through you freely. It's not stopped in your throat, it's not stopped in your heart, it doesn't get stuck anywhere. So it helps to flush everything and just help with the flow of life to go through you. Sometimes I have a hard time speaking because I'm precognizing some stuff. Sorry about that. If something isn't clear enough, or if you have any questions during the class, please let the questions below in the comments and we will answer them. Yeah, that's what they're saying, because they say that some questions may surface and it's okay to ask them below in the comments. I think next time we're gonna do this live, so I hope so. By allowing those energies to freely flow through your physical body, you are allowing God to work through you without any resistance. What I just said. I should have just kept reading. Sacred sexuality can be practiced to achieve what humans call miracles. So, yeah, that's exactly what we just talked about. This is what I just read was channeled from Isis. So this is just her explaining what is sacred sexuality. I will provide a PDF file of that class, and you can read all of that, and you can take notes, and you can write your own questions in your own time if you have any. And next month we will answer all of those questions. Not, I mean, maybe they will want to. For example, if you ask something that they think that can benefit the collective, they will answer you next time. So we will channel their answer next time when we are doing this, and they will expand on that and all of it. But if you take notes, that would be amazing, because it will help you a lot on keeping track on your own development, let's say. So now I have a channel message from Yeshua and Mary Magdalene. And they speak about sexuality in general. Is it sinful? They wanted me to share this with you here first on class before I give you your little homework for next month. And I will share it later too on a group and all of that, because this is a very polemic and honestly problematic issue. And they wanted me to share it with you here first. So if you have any questions about that too, just let me know. I'll just read what I channeled from them. So this is Jesus and Mary Magdalene speaking. Your human experience does not separate you from spirituality. Rather, what you choose to abide within your human experience. This is so Yeshua. He gives you like a full book in one sentence. That's very, very like him. So your human experience does not separate you from spirituality. Rather, what you choose to abide within your human experience. We create separation. We create problems. We create everything. So we can create love instead of problems. We can create enjoyment. We can create fulfillment instead of thinking about ourselves as sinful, as not godly, not holy, if we are doing anything with our bodies that we feel like is not godlike. Not only sex, but maybe eating some foods or yelling at someone or whatever. What he always tells me is you are God when you are angry, you are God when you're frustrated, you are God when you are sad. There is no moment in your life where you are not God. This doesn't exist. So whatever relationship you are having, whatever is happening in your life, every single second of every day, you are God. There is no way around it. This is good to understand because it frees us, right? It is hard to comprehend sometimes, and it's hard to embrace it and to start showing it, right? Because it is a lot to integrate. But that is the truth. So sexuality is not a sin, basically. Separation is I'm continuing reading, sorry. Separation is a concept long lingered in the collective's consciousness. It is a man-made concept, not a true one. True with capital T. Your body is your vessel in which you are allowed to express your divinity on the earthly plane. It is to be taken care of and loved. Sexuality is a part of the human nature and it is to be treated like any other part of the human experience, with love and respect, and respect from the heart of God within. They are so close and they make me want to cry. Sexuality does not separate you from God. It is impossible to be disconnected from God. The perception of separation comes from the judgment that you are not always pure divine grace, and it is simply untrue. So, yes. I'm recollecting. So, yeah, separation comes from judgment of yourself and from judgment that we put on others, basically. Sexuality is not sinful. It is yet another beautiful tool offered to you for your expansion. As any other feature of your human body, it can bring you closer to the allowance of God or further away. It is yet another choice. However you choose to perceive it is what will dictate how your experience will be for the time being while the belief still exists. So if you believe that sex is a sin, this is how it is going to express in your life. If you believe that sexuality is dirty, is bad, and whatever, that is how you are going to experience it in your life. It all depends on your allowance, on your choice. Everything here is a choice. Once you are operating in that state of mind, right? Because after you realize that one is all there is, it doesn't feel like there's a choice. I don't know. We'll talk about it another time. Okay, so you are sinless, pure, and innocent in every way. You are God. All of you, all of us. We had a beautiful relationship when embodied as Yeshua and Miriam. We practiced sacred sex, and with that we discovered that what might appear for many as secrets of life itself. We discovered it was a source for connection not only with each other, but with God within each other and with Source itself. So by practicing sacred sexuality and sacred sex, they discovered that they could be connected with each other, and that is like an understatement. Like it was like they were each other. Like the vision that I get is just like they could feel what each other felt. They could speak with each other in their minds. The kind of connection that they had was out of this planet. And they could experience God within each other and seeing each other as God, and also seeing themselves as God, and being able to connect with Source when they were practicing it. We discovered it was a means for creation, not only the physical creation where we would produce offspring, even though we had many of those. It was a means of manifestation. It was a means of enlightenment and allowance of our divinity to flourish. It was a means of physical representation of love. It brought us closer, not only with each other, but with all there is. It showed us in practical and physical ways that we are one. It made our journey easier, happier, more enjoyable, and fuller. This is not in scriptures, and we reckon that it might be a hard pill to swallow for many. We know this question will arise, and so we will answer it beforehand. Why then did the religious institutions turn sexuality as a sinful act? Well, dear ones, it is a rather easy explanation: control and power. It was an experience the collective wanted to go through, as a means to an end, so to speak. So you could be faced with many rocks on your path and not trip over them again and again. So you can learn to choose the loving thing for you by going within and asking for yourself, how does it feel personally to you? Power was inflicted over you, so you could be presented with a choice, merely because Earth is a planet of contrast, and you wish to experience all, being the brave souls that you are. So they are saying that this power over and power under was something that we chose because we create everything in our reality here on Earth, right? So it was like, okay, we need this, we need that. like the story with Hitler, that we asked him to come and do that to people, so we could have that example. This is the same thing, like asking to have this experience was what would allow us to expand and to go within and to ask, how is this loving for me again? Does he agree with me? So when you listen to any spiritual teacher ever, or any religious person ever talking about this, you can ask yourself, this is the option that is given to us. Is it loving for me? Is it true for me? How does it feel for me? Instead of just blindly believing. That was the purpose of us wanting to experience that. Not because we wanted to suffer, not because we wanted to like, oh, okay, let's punish ourselves another time. We are God. We don't want that. We want expansion. So how is it expanding me? How is this making me grow? How is this making me see that I'm God? I think that is the question that we need to ask ourselves anytime we are faced with any of those feelings. But anyways, that is how it all started, dear ones. It is time we change this perspective, for it no longer serves. So for now, we would like for you to go within and ask yourself if you've ever had any judgment towards sexuality and how it influences your life at the present moment. Does it still hurt you in any way? Is it still a part of your reality? Does it still serve? So those are questions that they want you to ask yourselves in meditation while you are maybe watching this. So if you have any judgments regarding sexuality, however it is, whatever it represents in your life, does it still hurt you in any way? Is it still a part of your reality right now? And does it still serve? You come up with answers. We would like to suggest to write them down and not judgment. If you prefer, do not read them until our next meeting. Write down whatever comes to you first and let it be. It will be a starting point for yourself in this journey of self-love, self-discovery, and empowerment. So this is part of the homework. Ask yourself those questions, write it down, forget about it, and we will talk about it next class. Okay, so they will probably give you more homework, but allow yourself to be without judgment of you. However you perceive it, however your experience with it was, write it down and forget about it. If you don't want to go through that in your mind, if you don't want to let ego to start speaking, the first thing that comes, when it comes from the heart, it is your higher self speaking. And however it comes, even if it comes from the ego, it will be important for you in your journey right now. So you can learn self-love and empowerment. That is their message. So they say, thank you for coming forward with the will to open up for the new, dear ones. We applaud your courage. We love you. We are you. So it is. So what Mary Magdalene wants to say, before giving you any breathing techniques, visualizations, meditation and so forth, and how to practice sacred sexuality, she wanted to give us this little homework. So she also said, go in this journey within and ask thyself, how am I being loving to me right now? So after you answer those questions that we just talked about, ask yourself that. How am I being loving to me right now? Present moment. I'm being loving to myself, for example. I'm being loving to myself by watching this class because I think this will expand me, because I think this will activate me, whatever. And how are you being loving to you today? How are you being loving to you in this lifetime? And how am I experiencing the masculine and the feminine energies? How are they translated in your reality, in your present moment? How are they showing for you after we talked about it? And you can, I'm sure many of you already came across those terms, and you've already studied and remembered some of those things. So ask yourself, how are those energies showing in my daily life? Write it down in a journal, a notepad, any device at all. Write down your answer by the end of the day. by the end of your daily spiritual practices or just whenever you remember to. So if you want to ask this in meditation next time, maybe you don't want to do it right now while we are doing the class, because I'm speaking like a crazy person. Next time you meditate, ask yourself, sit down and carry like a whatever paper you can, write it down and ask yourself those questions and leave them. Commit to yourself enough to keep track of your development. She is very big on keeping journals because she says that it is proof that we are expanding. I think it's very loving of her. Next time we talk about this matter, you will find yourself with more answers and more questions, and we will go from there. I love you, dear ones. This is a beautiful path we're walking. So I think we're gonna end here. This is, like she said, a commitment with yourself. It is remembering rather than learning. Because if you're here, this is already part of you. And if you are interested by this whole concept and sacred sexuality, the twin flames and Isis alchemy and Horus alchemy, we're going to talk about that in the future too. It is already part of you. It is something that is already aligned with your experience on earth right now. So this is a very, very exciting thing for us to do together. And I was very flattered and very honored that they wanted me to talk about this, even if I had a little, like, oh my God, I don't know much about it. They just drop it all on me and ask me to come here and talk to you. So thank you very much for being here. If you have any questions, leave them below. If you want to ask them privately here on Patreon, feel free to. And we'll go from here. So next time we talk, we will answer your questions, and I hope we will be able to do this in a live chat, so you can ask, and after I speak like a crazy person like I did, we can answer some of your questions. But for today, that's it. Thank you very much. We love you, and we are you, and we are with you. Namaste. I love you.